Millions of gallons of raw sewage have run off into the Pacific Ocean from this area right here. Trash, tires, clothes, and waste continuously polluting both sides of the border. This is the Tijuana River Valley. Our first stop is in San Diego, with David Gibson, the executive officer of the San Diego Regional Quality Control Board. He takes us down to the FEMA Trail.
I'd like to welcome you today to the Tijuana River Valley. Here to our right, we have the Smuggler's Gulch, Matadero Canyon as it's called in Tijuana, and to this direction, one of the several channels of the Tijuana River. And as you can see, we're surrounded by a sea of wastes, mostly from Tijuana. We have solid waste, trash, contaminated sediments, and polluted waters, much of it containing sewage. And what I'd like to do today is to show you around the river valley and talk about our efforts to protect downstream communities and ecosystems from the cross-border flows of wastes in the Tijuana River watershed. So this is the South Fork of the Tijuana River and the part of it that is called the Pilot Channel. This doesn't carry most of the flows from Tijuana. That actually occurs farther to the north. But even here you can see that there is a large amount of trash and debris. Plastic bottles, tires, shoes, refrigerators, pretty much everything. What you can't see is all the trash that's below the surface. Anywhere from 3 to 5 vertical feet down, there's more trash. And downstream, about 100 yards or so, there is an enormous mountain of plastic bottles and other floatables that washed by this point during the last rain event. One of the objectives of the Water Board is to address the sources of solid waste in Tijuana by encouraging recycling and having effective trash collection. But here in the valley, we're going to have measures to intercept and divert this waste before it reaches this point. That's one of the main challenges of the Tijuana River Valley Recovery Team, solid waste.
The next stop that David takes us to is Goat Canyon.
This is the Goat Canyon Basin, and as you can see here, we have a trash boom that has been working to capture the plastics and the tires and the other trash that would come down from Las Laureles Canyon into Goat Canyon. Without this trash boom, we would have this trash down in the estuary and then eventually out into the ocean where the plastics break up and become part of the trash in the Pacific Gyre. In order to protect the Tijuana River Valley, we need to have a binational approach, effective source control in Mexico, which has to include a plastics recycling, as well as interception and diversion in the US. The Goat Canyon basins serve their purpose here, but we don't have any structure like this in the main channel itself where most of the trash and most of the sediment comes into the United States. So among our top priorities is a construction of a basin like this in the main channel itself.
Heading across the border to Tijuana, we meet Stephen Wright, co-founder and co-director of Four Walls International.
Behind me you see the Oficina de las Hormiguitas. This is a native plant nursery. This building is built here with 500 scrap tires. And essentially we have created something called the Border Impact Bond. And what that does is create jobs and economic incentives south of the border to reduce government spending in California while improving the environmental and public health on both sides of the line. The structure behind me represents about 30% of what it would cost if these materials were allowed to flow across the US-Mexico border. We built this in a month, and we built it with the help of 13 incredible women. This, along with other buildings, is designed to incentivize single-use plastics and foam, tires, materials that make up about 90% of the solid waste found in the Tijuana River Valley.
Illegally dumped waste tires are a serious threat to the environment. These tires are prime breeding grounds for mosquitoes, which can carry viruses like Zika and dengue. Organizations like Four Walls collect these tires to build homes for local residents in Tijuana.
Welcome to the Casa de Botellas. We're here in Milenio 2000. It's a colonia here in Los Laureles Canyon, and it's a great example of what's possible when we create jobs and economic incentives for solid waste.
This house is made out of over 2,500 plastic bottles. These bottles have been stuffed with debris from the river and stacked to build the walls of the house. If you look towards the doorway, you can also see some sunlight coming through. That's because this section was created by over 1,000 glass bottles to bring some light into the house.
Hola, mi nombre es Adela Bonilla, vivo en la casa de botellas, hago manualidades de reciclado, este es tejido con anillas de aluminio, reciclo lo que son las bolsas del mandado, de diferentes empresas, hago piñatas.
You'll never find a single drop of water that respects a political boundary. More walls don't help us environmentally here. Socially, they don't help us. In fact, it makes it a lot harder to get the job done.
What both sides agree on is there is a binational effort that's needed. Currently, the U.S. is in litigation, but when it will be resolved remains to be seen.